All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. So, from 30 to 12, as just 12 teams remain in regards to who still has a shot to be crowned as the World Series champions for 2025. And it all begins tomorrow with four different series, four best of three series in the wild card round. Now, you look at the familiar faces of the American League Central as the Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Guardians are once again set to get it on. This is a very intriguing story between a pair of division rivals, as far as I'm concerned. The Tigers and Guardians met in the divisional round last year, okay, with Cleveland getting the best of Detroit in 5 games. Now, this season, Detroit was cruising for the bulk of the year. However, a late season swoon by the Tigers allowed the Guardians to catch them as Cleveland really came out of nowhere, okay, to win the Central for the third time in the last 4 years. Now, like I said before, there's plenty of familiarity with these teams, two division rivals, but on top of that, Cleveland and Detroit met in 6 games over the last 2 weeks of the regular season, with the Guardians winning 5 of those contests. So when they take the field tomorrow for game number one in Cleveland, the importance of game one for both sides, you look at it, okay? Detroit's going with Tarek Skubal, their ace. All right. And I think it's imperative for the Tigers to go out there and win that game. However, in that 6 game stretch that the Guardians and Tigers faced off with each other over the last couple of weeks, Skubal faced Cleveland twice, went 6 innings each time, gave a one earned run in both outings. But it was Cleveland that won those games and not the Tigers. So I think that's definitely in the back of the mind of both teams. And of course, Skubal wants to go out there and wants to pitch his best, and of course, wants to give his club an opportunity to go out there and win the game. However, for the Tigers, their offense has really been sputtering. The bats have gone dormant as over the last 2 weeks, they've only scored more than 3 runs twice over this stretch. That's really not going to get it done, especially here in the postseason. And on the flip side, for Cleveland, fresh out of the movie Major League, the Guardians finished the regular season by winning 19 of their last 24. So if you're Detroit, you're really up for it. And you got to try to go out there and curb this momentum. Of course, there's going to be a lot of electricity tomorrow afternoon throughout this entire series at Progressive Field. I think the focus in this series is really on game one. You always want to win game one in a short series like this. But I think, especially for both sides, because if you're Cleveland, you want to get to Skubal. And if you're the Tigers, you have to go out there and do whatever it takes when your ace is on the mound in order to win this series and advance. When it's all said and done, I'm going to give the edge to Cleveland. They're just playing some great baseball right now. They're fearless. I think the Tigers are playing a little bit tight, and I think that carries over into this series. Now, the other AL wildcard series is Major League Baseball's version of the Hatfields and the McCoys, as you're talking about the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees set to get it on. There's no love lost between these age-old rivals. Matter of fact, they've met in the postseason 5 times, and the last 3 times that Boston and the Yankees faced off, it was Boston who sent the Yankees home. Now, this season, the Red Sox are 9-4 against their rivals from the American League East. Tomorrow, the Yankees are going with Max Fried. And of course, Max Fried has been as good as advertised and then some in his first year with the Yankees. And of course, he was able to somewhat curb, or help curb rather, the absence of Garrett Cole, who was lost for the season with Tommy John. So you look at Max Fried, and it's going to be important for this Red Sox lineup, of course, to try to go out there and get to Max Fried. It's going to be important also for the Red Sox to go out there and try to, and with Garrett Crochet, and try to shut down this Yankees lineup, which is going to be easier said than done. This side of the Guardians, the Yankees are coming into the postseason as the hottest team in baseball. I'll tell you like this because the Red Sox really overachieved all season long, and I think that is a credit to their manager, Alex Cora. So it's going to be something if the Red Sox go out there with that why not us, why not now mentality. On the flip side for the Yankees, they've had their ups and downs, but guess what? They clicked and they got going at the right time. And of course, a big question for me with the Yankees after a bad postseason last year, what is Aaron Judge going to be able to do this time around? I think this series, I'm not going to go out there and pick a winner per se, but I say whoever wins game one of this series will go on and advance to face Toronto. Now, on the flip side, on the National League side, you've got the San Diego Padres heading to Wrigley to take on the Chicago Cubs. Just the second time that the Padres and Cubs have faced off in the postseason. Of course, they had that epic back in 1984 when the Padres rallied from 0-2 to win the final three games of that series to win the pennant and get to the World Series for the first time in franchise history. Some big questions in this series. Will the Cubs pitching be able to hold up against this potent Padres lineup? That's going to be the thing because the Padres just come at you in waves with their bats. San Diego's got themselves a solid pitching staff as well. Let's see what they're going to do against this Cubs lineup. Wrigley's going to be rocking tomorrow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. First time the Cubbies have been in the postseason since 2020. The Padres are the more experienced team here. They've kind of been there, done that in the last couple of years. And I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to give San Diego the edge to get past Chicago. And finally, you've got the Cincinnati Reds who squeaked in on the last day of the season, and they're taking on the defending World Series champions in the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, you look at the Reds, they were up and down all season long, but Cincinnati comes into this scenario and they are playing with house money because they have absolutely nothing to lose. Nobody outside of the Reds clubhouse expected the Reds to be here. First year under veteran manager Terry Francona, and this is a guy who's been there and done that in the postseason. Won two World Series championships as a skipper for the Boston Red Sox. Got the Cleveland Guardians within one game of winning the World Series back in 2016. And I think for the Reds to go out there and win this series, they have to rely on their pitching. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hunter Green's going for Cincinnati tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. Can he find a way to slow down this Dodgers lineup? We've got to wait and see. I think this series is going to rely on several things because the Dodgers are the more talented team. The Dodgers are the better team, yes. But at the end of the day, a lot of things you just throw out of the rule book or out of the window, rather, come October in the postseason. You look at each of the last 3 years, or all 3 years so far, since MLB has gone to this format with six teams in each league getting to the postseason. The number six seed on the National League side has gotten at least to the LCS all three times. Of course, in the case of the Diamondbacks and Phillies, they won the pennant. So if you're the Dodgers, you have to be wary of that. For me, I think this series comes down to because the Reds are coming to play. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I think Cincinnati's going to be ready to go. I think Terry Francona is going to have this team ready to go. What mindset are we going to see from the Dodgers? Are they going to be focused as far as trying to go out there and run it back? We've got to wait and see. I like the Dodgers' chances, but again, like I said before, each of the last 3 years, the six seed has beaten the three seed in round number one. So we've got to see how that plays out. A little bit different maybe this year. The Dodgers won 93 games during the regular season, while Cincinnati just won 83. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the postseason, you simply throw the records out of the window. Game one, I think, is going to be super important in that Detroit Cleveland series. The same thing for Boston and New York. I think Boston needs to go out there and win game one. It's going to be very important for them. It's going to be very important for the Yankees because, again, they lost the season series to the Red Sox. All right. And then, for for the Reds, if you want to go out there, you clearly got to win the series on the road. But going out there with Hunter Green, who's been pitching some good baseball, going up against Blake Snell. Can the Reds bats do enough against this Dodgers pitching staff? We've got to wait and see. I think that Cubs Padres series is going to be a thriller. I truly do think it goes the distance. I think the Yankees Red Sox series goes the distance as well. Like I said before, when it comes to that Cleveland series, game one, who gets it? Because whoever gets that game one is definitely going to win this series. Nonetheless, I think, and I said this before, and I'll say it again right now, this postseason is going to be wide open because I think all 12 of these teams that are in this tournament are capable of getting on a roll. And of course, in the case of Cincinnati, Cleveland, and the Yankees, they were some of the hottest teams in baseball coming down the stretch. And you just have to wonder if that's going to spill over to the month of October for the postseason. Nonetheless, the playoffs are here, folks. 162 games to decide the top 12 teams in baseball. And here we are. Win or go home, that's all that matters. So let's see who has what it takes to get out of the wild card round and get to the divisional round. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. And if you liked what you heard and saw in this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. It is greatly appreciated, especially subscribing, because guess what, folks? We're right there. Just need 4 more. 4 more to the magic number of 1,000. And like I always say, it is greatly appreciated, the support, all right? If you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out anytime at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. And the same goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Also, if you are on Facebook, be sure to check out the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.